Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks at Ungainly Titan. Update 4.1 has finally been released for World of Tanks console, and it includes, as well as some Swedish tanks, some new maps, but one of the more exciting features is the replay option, at least what I hope will be the first iteration of a replay option. I'm hopeful that they'll have something more sophisticated in the long run, at least with regard to sharing replays. So the main screen here is recorded live by my video capture software on INSC, the T34, and the insert on the top right is the same game recorded by the game's in-game recording system, again captured by the same video software. As far as I can tell, what you're essentially getting is a following camera, exactly the same as you would if you followed another player after you died in game. So you're not seeing everything exactly as the original player, as you recorded the game originally. For instance, you're not seeing me zoom in here. Now there may be another way of doing it that I haven't spotted, but as far as I can tell, that seems to be the way. You just you're looking over the guy. You have a following camera looking over your shoulder, and you don't see exactly what you're doing in terms of zoom in the replays. So that's a limitation, and it does limit its utility in terms of providing replays to YouTubers, for instance. On the other hand, it can still be very useful for providing clips, and it would be very, very useful for a person analysing their game, because say you're trying to side scrape and you're getting shot and you're not sure what it is that you're doing wrong. You can go into the replay, bring up that section of the battle and pause the video and engage the free camera, look at it from the point of view of the enemy player, and see how much of your tank is exposed. Maybe travel back down the line of flight of the shell and see where exactly you've been penetrated. So it could be very useful for that sort of stuff. I haven't tried it out in the sense that I haven't checked to see how these kind of things can be done. But it is, it's a big advance. Now, what are the limitations of it? The limitations are quite considerable. It's only available in a live session, and I think there's a maximum of 5 games recorded. So you can go into your log that records your activity, and you can see what games are recorded that you can go and review the score of. And when you go in and view the score, you get an option to watch the replay. I'm just showing an example here now. We're in the garage, this is my KV5, and I'm after playing a game in the KV5 on Erlenberg. So going into the log file, bringing up the battle result for that battle, I get the option to watch the replay. Now I've already downloaded the replay on this particular occasion, so you didn't see the replay download. But the downloads are pretty quick. I mean, I don't have the greatest of internet, and the downloads come down in a matter of seconds, really. Once you're in the replay mode, you don't actually have to follow your own tank. You can press the left trigger and the right trigger, and you can follow other tanks and see the battle from their point of view. Perhaps a platoon mate, and you wanted to see what they saw or how the battle looked from them, or a friend of yours is on the opposing team and you wanted to see from their point of view. Perhaps somebody famous or somebody you know was a really good player and you wanted to see how they played on, and they recognised their name on your team or on the enemy team, so you could follow them around the battlefield and see their gameplay in parts of the game where you were active, which is something you wouldn't normally be able to do, and you can do it for both friendlies and enemy players. So you can follow any tank on any side of the battlefield, which I think is something you can do in the PC version of the replay system. I mean, I've only ever used the PC system a couple of times, and I've never played with it very extensively. I never had about 50 or 60 games, I think, of the PC version. So you can... Here we're looking at the game from the point of view of enemy tanks. So it can be useful to see how your opponent was playing against you. This actually is the guy that I was fighting initially. That's me coming around the corner. And I've tracked him. And T29 or whatever it is finished him off. It can be, yeah, it's very useful for analysing positions, analysing situations. Seeing how, I don't know, a position collapsed that you didn't understand, or you're being penetrated from some location and you don't know how it happened, or whatever. So it can be very useful for that kind of view. And you also have free camera mode. And the free camera mode disengages you from any particular tank or any particular point of view and just allows you wander around the battlefield at will. So here we've engaged the free camera mode, and you just travel around. You use your thumbsticks on the controller to manipulate the camera, both the direction and the direction of travel and the direction you're looking at. And you just drive the camera around as if it was a tank. You can go up and down as well, because basically you point down and go backwards, or point up and go up forwards, and that will raise your elevation, and the reverse will lower your elevation. This strikes me as an extremely useful way of familiarizing yourself with new maps, because you can get a new map in the rotation, go in, play a game on that map, and then use the replay system to just explore the map. In fact, you can switch off the HUD so that you're not distracted by the minimap or any other information, and just explore the map. You can actually freeze the battle in location, so you can look at it at the start of the battle. You could drive around the entire map and just record that, and it would enable people to see a new map, or enable you to understand options in the map that you wouldn't otherwise get. It would take several games to explore the map properly. You can also move along the timeline. You can open up the timeline of the game, and you can move the time of the timer on the game at any point in the timeline. So you can go forward, you can go back. You could freeze the game at position and look at the positions of tanks exactly as they are at that moment in time. You can also access the main map, and it's recordable on the game DVR, which is what I'm doing here. Took me a while to figure out exactly how to do it, because I haven't used the game DVR in well over a year. But I was able to get a recording of the game on the game DVR, and I was able to verify that the game clip was saved and properly recorded. So here we're looking at the game clip that I recorded. It was basically I played back the replay of the Insk match, and having finished that, I then pressed the home key and got the game DVR up and running to record the last 5 minutes, and I was able to upload it to Xbox Live and download it and all the rest of that kind of stuff. It is a useful tool, I think. It is very potentially very useful to players that are interested in improving their game to analyze stuff. It will probably be useful to the wider YouTube community, because players without capture cards will be able to record clips of interesting stuff and send them on. I'm not sure about entire gameplay. You will be able to record an entire game, but the absence of the game reticle and the zoom stuff might detract from the recordings that this game would make, this system would allow you to make. However, we'll see how things develop, and I hope that they actually continue to improve this. It would be very useful to console YouTubers if they could receive raw replay files and then play them themselves or play them on some kind of specialized client. It would hugely help in the diversity of the gameplay available on the console YouTube channels. It is one of the huge advantages the PC YouTubers have over the console people, in that the PC can gather games from the entire player base, and they're not dependent on just the stuff they create themselves. Still, I think people will probably come up with creative ways of using the replay files, and it certainly would be interesting to see this development continuing into the future and how things expand from it. Overall, I think it's a very positive development, and I hope to see it supported into the future. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video interesting. If you do, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't already, please consider giving the channel a subscription. I'll catch you all soon.